Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm covering PLTR, and in this one here I'm going to go briefly through technical analysis just to give a little bit of a perspective into the trader's psychology. And then I'm going to go diving in through DD parts, anything I could find about this one, and try to give you a wholesome feel of this one in terms of an update. My previous video on this one, you'll find it in the description below. Make sure to watch it after this one here, and let's jump right into it. So on a one-day perspective, what we get to see here is something quite amazing. A really massive push from the start of the IPO, and I did go on through a DD around, I believe, somewhere in this region here after it ran a little, and I did say, well, you know what, you got to start locking in profits, right? And for this one here, you know, if you have start locking in profits, it's a little bit of an interesting view that you're going to understand through this one here. So let's jump right into that. 80x shows in a very, very strong potential. But as I always say, above 50, that's where you can probably see a reversal there. William percent R is sitting in highly overbought. MACD, it's just exploding. Momentum is insanely high. Now, moving averages are bullish, and it's bullish all the way down to the 1527, where the trading action zone ends. Now, taking a quick look into the 2-hour perspective, since it's an IPO, we don't have a lot of charting to do. The move 80x shows an everything shows exact same thing it did on the 1 day. Moving averages though, all the way down to 2336 is bullish. Below there, it can consider to be a cut trend. Now, moving average band, and just for the sake of the argument, because never really traded within it, 1738 on the top, 1580 in the middle, and 1422 in the bottom. The stochastic fast and the stochastic slow, what we get to see here is a massive trend. It's a strong trend. It shows in there is another leg, but it tells you be careful with the stop limit. Now the Fibonacci retracement, supports and resistance. Current support sits at 2535. Next one, 2182. Below there, 1934, and below there, 1686. Current only resistance is standing at 2985. Now, jumping on, let's say, a 1 month, 2-hour perspective to try to identify significant supports and resistance levels. Right on here, the current support is sitting at 2861. Following that is 2745. Following that, 2550. Following that, 2443. And then 2293, 2185, and then 1934. Followed by 1848 and down to 1749, followed by 1677. Current resistance is 2909, and since you see this massive push, it really held really nicely, and that's a really significant thing. There's no resistance, so the next resistance, I guess, 30. Above there, 35, 45. Can count a little bit, either $1 up or every $5 up. That's sometimes a trend depending on the volume. Now, I did go in depth in terms of this one's DD, so I'm going to give an update and a little bit of an overview, quick overview for folks that didn't see the other one, but make sure to watch the other one. Alright, AI and ML, so machine learning and artificial intelligence is part of the game for this one. Automotive, auto racing, case management, cyber defense, financial compliance, GDPR, insurance, intelligence, law enforcement, legal intelligence, manufacturing, mergers and acquisitions, farming, RWE, sales and revenue, and Skywise. And I'm running out of breath. So basically, if you were to put one big kind of ballpark for what these guys are, it's a little bit tough. But think about it as technological solutions for any kind of field. It's not just a tech company, but it also brings in the brains towards operations. You go back to the presentation I went through, it really shows you all the clientele, whether from the army, police forces, COVID responses. And so this one is massive on COVID responses when it comes in towards different trackings or COVID-19 vaccine, even possible future trackings or, you know, records and all that stuff. Think about Black Mirror. This is what I think. Alright. For folks that didn't watch Black Mirror, it's a Netflix series. It's quite interesting. It's a little bit more futuristic technology and a little bit creepy and more of a dystopian feel. So, Palantir to help US track COVID vaccines. Bingo, there you go. I even forgot that it was in there, but it's right on. The next things is things like US Army Future Command's prototype for helping with missions. They joined the Trinity Challenge with massive names like Microsoft, with Google. So those are big names on there. Don't underestimate this one. The next thing is that it's not a data company, it's more of a technology solution company. Sure, it can help with data, it can help with organizing stuff, and they had some clients with that, but it's definitely an all kind of solution companies for tech. Now, one thing that I want to show you here, of course there's no new SEC filings, it's just all news and whatnot, is the institutional buyers. Now I did see someone sending me, hey, BlackRock has it, so this folk here, TechRealist, sent me quite a bit of information here. They're quite interesting. So BlackRock has a new position. So that was kind of helpful. I always like people sending me stuff because sometimes, guess what, I can't see it. There's Twitter here from somewhere from the government of Greece. But nonetheless, here's a traditional one. Look at that. BlackRock, 101,000 shares. Bright House, 178,000. 105 by Mass Mutual. It's not BlackRock only. Look at Ivy Science and Technology Fund. Almost 9 million shares. Another BlackRock fund, 373,000, 93, 37. They're all BlackRock, so different funds. And you get to see it's massive. Another BlackRock fund, around 1 million shares. You get to see, I don't see any cashing out yet. Massive position. Some of these are 29.9 million shares. Wow, I wish I had that money, right? Million shares are added. If I have to give a rough estimate, I would say easily around 200 million shares have been pumped into this one for institutional buyers. Just think about that, especially with the outstanding shares. Now, I think it's a rough 200 million shares, but they currently have 1.471 billion shares, so that's quite a rough estimate there. Institutional value here is 1.7 billion. Got to think about that. Now, the next thing is insider buyers, and what you get to see here is something interesting here. They're having sales of some shares, and that's quite a little bit of annoying to see. Nonetheless, let's jump to what we think about this stock. Now comes in, Ed, what do you think about this one? It's a little bit off a rough situation, okay? Because a part of me says, you know, the part that is a little bit more paranoid at times and controls the risk management says, hey, if you bought around here, don't get greedy and start, you know, cashing out. Not the entire position, just slowly cash out. Another part of me says, leave this as an investment. In 10 years, look at the institutional buyers. They're really bullish on it. Well, the insiders have cashed out a little. It's a little bit maybe perhaps, hey, it's considered a bonus for them, or they can't even believe it. They're like, oh my god, you know what, I'm just excited and sells out. But the institutional buyers are flooding in. And a little bit of a feel for me says, gotta be very careful. Stop limit is a need. And maybe a trailing stop limit of 10%. That means, you know, from where it jumped at like around $10, went all the way to 30. From 30, if it does dip to 27, I cash out, its stop limit gets triggered. Now the stop limit does not work overnight. I do think that this one has a lot of potential and a lot of long-term investment potential. But a part of me says, be careful here and start cashing out. But I'm still very bullish about this one. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.